Yeah. So good morning. So this, this month's talk outlines or all about loving the unlikable, and they were developed by Reverend Chris Alexander, who is an ordained minister who serves as the global themes coordinator for CSL, and she's also the curriculum development specialist for Circles USA. So most of what I'm going to share with you today came from her outline, and except, it'll be obvious when it's not, and I'll say that. So I like to review the month's topics because there's just so much in there and so much worthy of being shared. So I'm just going to do a quick review. That in week 1, we talked about decoding the unlikable. And we explored the difference between personal preferences and inherent worth. And by choosing love over judgment, we can discover how to live in alignment with our values of oneness and unconditional love. That we can choose love even when we encounter something we don't like. In my words, Daniel Niemod shared so beautifully how we can choose to love the unlovable when we choose to know the story and the reasons behind the actions that people we don't like do. And it's interesting how, someone we love, we accept things that we wouldn't accept from people that we don't like, and understanding why they do the things they do. And the challenge is not simply having likes and dislikes, we all do, but it's the dependency on things having to be a certain way in order for us to be comfortable. That's where the problem lies. And remember that one person's trash is another's treasure. We all have different perspectives. Ernest Holmes stated, "We believe in the unity of all life, and the highest God and the innermost God is one God." No, there's no separation. We believe that God is personal to all who feel His indwelling presence. And from this understanding, there is no such thing as unlikable. Instead, it's our individualized experience these different personal preferences. We are encouraged to shift from viewing the world through our personal lens and instead to recognize that all life, even the creepy crawlies, positively contribute positively to our planet and the wholeness of spirit. There is no hierarchy of life. Humanity is simply another aspect of spirit expressing itself. Nothing in God could possibly be unlikable. You might pause to question that a little bit. And when we embrace this understanding, we live and act from a place of unconditional love for all, hereby creating a world that works for all. When we find things unlikable, consider enhancing your awareness, education, understanding, and knowledge of these things. Consciously cultivate respect for the significance of the necessity of their existence. Now, I say this does not mean that we blindly accept harmful behavior. For example, if your accountant is caught cheating on you, you more than likely will remove them from that position. It doesn't mean you don't love them, but they are still worthy of living and of life, but you don't necessarily keep them in a position of responsibility. And, when I think about these things, I think about, what could possibly explain things like Hitler's actions. And the only thing I can come up with is that he was put there to awake humanity to there's a better way. I can only hope that. I don't know. There's an opposite example. I watched Death by Lightning on Netflix, and it's about President James Garfield, who was assassinated in 1981. And he had an absolutely horrible, corrupt vice president named Chester Arthur. And Chester plotted behind his back and in front of him to undermine his presidency at every turn. And Garfield knew this. And Arthur submitted his resignation, and Garfield said, "Nope, you're staying. I have faith in you." And after Garfield died, Arthur went on as president to pass some of the most landmark civil service reforms that shaped government to this day. So he stood up to what Garfield believed he could be. He stepped up. And that reminds me of when I was a young officer on my first Navy ship. We had a captain who believed in me when he had absolutely no reason to believe in me whatsoever. And they put me in a position that I was completely unqualified for. That was a really high position of responsibility for a junior officer. And I worked triple time to meet up to those expectations. And the whole ship felt that way. We got every award there was to get. We passed all our inspections, and morale was high, and it was a really wonderful experience because the captain set the tone. And then we had a change of command, and this guy that came in thought we were all worms in the dirt and told us so. And we started failing the same group of 2,000 plus people went from outstanding, excelling in every aspect to failing and low morale. And it was such a powerful learning thing to watch that happen. Same group of people, different leadership. So, in week 2, the beneathness. And I was like, what the heck is beneathness? Here we dive into the intricate dance of decomposition and renewal that enrich both nature and our personal journeys. Below our feet are the tracks, the soil, the bugs, the worms, the creepy crawlers, all manner of small living wonders. Linda Hopp, I don't know, hopefully I said that right, in her book Rooted, said that the living and the dead brushing together to create the quiet symphony of sound and activity, that this is holy ground. Ernest Holmes, in his exploration of life's essence, reminds us that life is all there is. This declaration encompasses not only the beauty and the validity we readily embrace, but also the decomposition, the decay, the death that are integral to the cycle of life. The circle of life is a continuous dance where the living are nourished by the remains of the dead. And every fallen leaf, decaying tree, and decomposing creature contributes to the richness of the soil. It is a testament to the interconnectedness of all things. And just as the vibrant, writhing substrate beneath the soil sustains life above, our past experiences, our history, our old beliefs, and relationships form the foundation of who we are. The good, the bad of every action, decision, idea, and thought all contribute to the rich tapestry of our lives. By acknowledging and reflecting in this beneathness within ourselves, not just so, it's a different level within ourselves, we can understand how these elements shape our past and influence our future. It becomes critical to till the soil of our soul, turning over and examining the elements it contains. Just as gardeners remove rocks and debris to ensure their plants thrive, we must identify and pull out old beliefs or experiences that no longer serve us. And this helps us create a nourishing environment for our growth and well-being. And I feel this very personally in my own life. The trials and tribulations that I've been through bring me to where I am today. And sometimes it's really hard, but it's all worth it. Sometimes sometimes that's not the easiest thing to understand. But with time, sometimes I look back and go, oh yeah, okay, I get it. So then week 3, we talked about opinion, truth, and fact. And to review, what is an opinion? It's a personal belief, a viewpoint, or a judgment that is subjective and can vary from person to person. They are shaped by individual experience, emotions, and perspectives. And they do not require objective evidence to be valid for persons holding them. An example is, I believe that classical music is the most soothing genre. That's an opinion. And you know what they say about opinions. Everybody's got one. A fact is an objective statement that is supported by evidence and can be verified as true or false. Facts are based on the empirical data and observations, and while they are considered true based on current knowledge, they may be subject to change with new information or discovery. And a simple example is that water boils at 500 degrees Fahrenheit at sea level. Now, that's a fact. And until that changes, if that ever changes, then they'll let us know. That wasn't supposed to be funny. But thank you. Truths are the immutable spiritual truth and principles that are universally valid and unchanging regardless of circumstances or new information. They are considered eternal, absolute. Well, spiritual truths do not change. Our relationships to them, our understanding of them, and how the world works as a result of them can shift as we grow and evolve. And A Course in Miracles teaches only love is real, and it defines what is real as only that which is eternal is real. So truth never changes, but our perspective to it changes. It is our responsibility to exercise discernment in distinguishing between truth, fact, opinion, and falsehood. Much of the information we retain is shaped by our personal perspectives, beliefs, individual histories, making it easy to fall into echo chambers that reinforce our biases. Therefore, it is critical to be mindful of the sources and the credibility of the information we encounter. By critically evaluating whether information aligns with factual reality, opinion, or spiritual truth, we can navigate with greater clarity and openness to evolving perspectives. And I say, whenever we hear someone jump to an immediate conclusion, we can be pretty sure it is not accurate. And we hear news from a source that does not adhere to established journalistic standards, we are right to be skeptical. I've said this lots of times, and I think every other talk that I've been in, verify, To create a world that works for all, we must be willing to critically examine and potentially change our deeply held beliefs. Understanding the foundations of our world, including the systems of marginalizations and oppression embedded in various aspects of our society, and spirituality, is essential. So in week 4, we talked about kith, K-I-T-H, kith, and kin. And kithship is the intimacy with the landscape in which one dwells, and kin refers to the earth and all that dwell therein. The rooted, the feathered, scaled. They're all relations. They're all kindred. Historically, our teachings have sometimes been narrowly and incorrectly interpreted as a means to manifest personal dreams or get-rich-quick schemes, often without regard for the planet or the consequences of increased consumption that we face today. It is now time for us to deepen our comprehension of the spiritual truth of oneness, encompassing the entire planet and all life upon it. Ernest Holmes says the law is the law. The law is the law of liberty, not a law of license. And it took me a while to figure out what they're talking about. So this is, in my own words, is that we have the freedom to create whatever we like, but we must also experience the natural consequences of our thoughts, words, and deeds. We do not have a license to contradict the nature of the universe. What comes around goes around. What I think, say, or do about another comes back to me. And I remember the previous leader of the Centers for Spiritual Living said, there's no guarantee that we get to stay on this planet forever. We can make choices, and planet Earth can say, you're gone. So that is within the realm of possibilities. We get to choose. And Jane Goodall made a documentary before she passed earlier this year. And when she made the documentary, she knew that what she was saying would not be aired until after she had passed. So I found it fascinating. It's called Famous Last Words. I highly recommend you take a look at it. It's very inspiring and jarring. She was a lifelong environmentalist, deeply respected throughout the world for her work. And her message is one of concern and also of hope. So if you get a chance to watch that. Yeah, I'm seeing some heads shake already. So in conclusion, together, let us commit to creating a world that not only works for us, but also honors and supports the intricate tapestry that sustains us all. And so now the really fun part comes with Sylvia coming to talk about octopuses. Actually, I don't know what she's going to talk about, but I know it's going to be good.
Octo what? Both feet. I'm very honored to have you before me, and if you can hear me just fine, shake your marbles. Very good. Okay. Well, let me just say that thank you, Jody, for giving me a solid platform from which to spring into the ocean and to be one with one of the most fascinating creatures that we know. Does anybody know what octo stands for? Bye. They're too smart for me, okay? Well, good. Well, guess what? I'll bet you didn't know what happened on October 8th, 2007. Nope. It became World Octopus Day. Serious as a, not heart attack, just serious. So what's so special about the octopus that this particular animal species is honored with their own day? I mean, we have birthdays, but who cares? Yeah. But an octopus? My goodness. Well, you know why? It was determined by many people who have become familiar with them and have had extraordinary experiences with them and have studied them, that they are masters, number one, at contorting their bodies. We sort of do that when we have body aches or yoga or standing on the railroad tracks and not moving. But they just kind of do it naturally. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about, we're going to talk about a particular focus on a particular detail about the octopus that I found absolutely fascinating. I didn't know. And now we're all going to find out along with me. Factoid. There's a few. No. And the reason I choose octopuses is because the topic title was The Soul of an Octopus. I'll go, cool. We have something in common. I feel like sometimes I have 8 appendages, and that does not include the head. So this is great. Check it out. Besides contorting their bodies, octopuses, guess what, are found all over the world, just like us. So check it out. We are so related. Well, they live about 6 months to 5 years, depending on the species. But during that time, they're busy. They find mates, have offspring, and they live a life that is so full of surprising, successful life skills that they've mastered and amazing biological advantages. We have that too, except we don't use it very often. The brain. Well, guess what? The octopus is highly intelligent. Did you know that? Oh, I'm done here. Okay.
How intelligent are they?
Oh, thank you. How intelligent are they? I love this audience. Well, for one thing, they're physically advanced. You must be too. An octopus is divinely equipped check this out, and you don't have to write this down. You can watch it on YouTube. With a beak, venom, ink, color changing talent, texture changing talent, jet propulsion. Humans have that too, kind of, but it's not so pretty as an octopus, okay? Super strong suckers. Babies have that. 8 arms. Mothers have that. And a mini brain in each of those arms. Spouses. So we have a lot in common. No? So far, so good. Now, here's the other thing that's amazing. They remember faces. So when you go to the aquarium and they have an octopus there, don't tease it. Don't say bad things about it. Ew, you're so not pretty. You can't do that because they will remember you. And when you go back, or if you happen to get them in your house somehow, when they're in captivity, they often exhibit grudges by squirting water at certain people who offended them. Huh? Now, how does an octopus know what's offensive and what isn't? Well, you should hear how the laughter goes on in the water. And they know, and they hear it. And when we're saying, oh my God, making all these comments about them, well, I'll tell you what. Cease and desist, humans. Octopuses, octopi, octopodes, any way you want to say it, they boast an impressive array of anti-predator defenses, including the ability to almost instantaneously match the colors, the patterns, and even the textures of their surroundings. How many of us humans can say that? The only time that ever happens is when you wake up finally in the morning and you look in the mirror and you go, oh my God, I changed. It's like another day older and deeper, and no, we won't go there. Another thing, octopuses grow up quickly. Maybe we don't, but they do. And they vary in size, just like us. Yeah? Well, the largest known octopus, just a factoid here, in the whole wide world is the giant Pacific octopus, which has been known to grow as large as 30 feet across. That includes the arms. They don't call them tentacles. Oh, well, arms. And weighing about 110 pounds at the max. Well, that's about as big as the Great Dane. You'd think, that's not a lot, is it? Well, if you're underwater, under the water pressure, and there's a 110-pound thing coming at you, yep, it's a force to reckon with. But how impressive. Because just think about it. In many ways, we are not so dissimilar from that divine being of an octopus. Made by divine spirit, made by God, by whatever you want to call that, the octopus is amazing. How many of us, for example, can focus on squeezing into the most teeny tiny aperture in the earth, just a crack? They can do that. Kind of like earthworms do, too. There must be something in common there. But what caught my attention and what I focused on when I was doing my little study about the octopi was their curiosity. How many of you humans here present with us here today and online, are curious beings? Yes, raise both arms. Thank you. Now, why is that? Because we share this with many, many, many creatures, curiosity and following through with it leads to a higher level of knowledge. Therefore, it takes intelligence to recognize that this piece of knowledge is worth keeping. See, I got octopus fingers. Well, and we share this delightful sense of curiosity with this magnificent being. So being curious and following up on it to discover a greater reality or solutions or delights indicates a very keen intelligence is at work here. So don't let anybody tell you, oh, stop having fun. What are you going to learn from that? Excuse me? Look what we're doing now. You're learning something. You're learning that you might want to come back as an octopus. Mm-hmm. Well, and just like the beloved octopus, they're extremely capable of problem solving. So are we. I can't quite do it as good they do. Now, the same is true with our being curious beings. Like the octopus. I love it. We're just like them almost. Playful, exploratory. We take great delight in surprising, unexpected adventures and discoveries. Like, who did that in my shoe last night? Huh? That's a discovery, but not altogether pleasant. Nevertheless, it's a discovery and it counts, and we learn to put our shoes up on a higher shelf.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, being curious is the first window of opportunity to enlarge our view of the world we live in. Is this not extraordinary? How many of you have been to the other side of the world? Oh my God, almost everybody. Because whether we do it physically or in our minds or through documentaries, we're there. Yes? Absolutely. So, here it is. Being curious is the first window of opportunity to enlarge our view of the world we live in. And you know what? I read people pretty well because I pay attention to their eyeballs and their smiles. And if they turn around and walk away from me, oh, I notice that. So, but here's the thing. I know I can recognize when a fellow human being is yearning, has a yearning. We all have different yearnings, and they're special, and you come gifted to be able to pursue that and satisfy that yearning, to be the greatest baker in the world, to be a gardener, to be an adventurer, to be, working with animal behaviors or anything. How to build a house with stones and bricks and branches just like they do in other countries, just to learn. There's a yearning that we each have that we must pay attention to it, not ignore it. Absolutely, because it is something which calls out to us from our very soul. Do you understand? On this, I am very serious, because the soul that we have, unique, and yet we have commonalities. So I suggest that we step forward boldly and discover the various ways to get to know one another. And we get to discover what's in our dreams, each other's dreams and soul dreams and all that. In other words, we get to know each other, trust each other, and have that divine grace and ease of true friendship. It takes a lot to be a friend. More than it takes anything else. That relationship of being a friend, because you're not bound by a legal document or anything like that. You're bound by, as Jody had talked about, love, respect, kinship. That which binds friends together sometimes can be undone when you say things, gossip, or, behavior. But it can also be mended. That's the beautiful thing. And the same thing is true with the octopus. They just happen to be extremely malleable and flexible with their bodies because that's how they were made. We have the soul of an octopus. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? We are flexible, giving, curious, intelligent, bold, and our souls never go against us. Never. Our souls, I used to think this way, and I think I still do. Our souls make demands upon our hearts, and our hearts must listen. Our hearts must obey the demands of the soul. Why? Because that's why you were born. That's why you're here. To fulfill your divine purpose. I don't say bad words on the pulpit. And how magnificent, because each individual being here and beyond, you have much in common, but you're also one of a kind. So, let's do this and get deeper into our relationships at joyous levels and any kind of emotional level to celebrate life, to acknowledge what goes on in our lives. And we do this together authentically. Friends are authentic with each other. We do for each other that which maybe is never spoken or asked for. That's because there is a knowing and a recognition, and this kind of generosity of spirit, there's nothing like it in the world than being a true friend, more than an associate. So let us be willing to build a greater life for ourselves by being all that we can be. See beyond the surface of other individuals, okay? So that we can resonate harmoniously with their hearts and perceive the truth of their divine within them. How many of you, and you don't have to raise hands, absolutely know when you meet somebody with whom you have an immediate kinship? Yes. Yeah, and you don't have to raise your hands because I can see things like an octopus can. And I know that part of my brains are here too. But we have that right here in this beautiful community at home. We build inner trust. We take classes. We form excellent friendships built on trust and love and harmony, respect. We learn new life skills. We get the messages, whether it's on Sunday or in workshops, play shops, or what we read from what Reverend Suzette sends us in our text messages. Read those. Doesn't take long. And they're totally worth it, and you might even want to print it out. But let us do this. Why? Because we want to increase our lives' qualities. Correct?
Yes.
So let us do these things so we increase our sense of peace, harmony, and balance. And with it comes all the other things we talk about. Prosperity, optimism, all the things, what we call I say higher good and highest good. Highest good, I don't know if I can ever achieve that, but I know that the divine, whatever it is that creates everything that there is in the universe, can do that, the highest. And so I'll say, me too, just take me with you. But we can all do higher good. And that is sometimes so satisfying. How many of you tried in school, doing the high jump? Doing the merry-go-round? See how fast you can make that sucker go around. Make everybody fall off, okay? You know, I know. Been there, done that. So now, of course, everything that we've done in the hijinks of youth and being kids like we are, it all started with a little bit of curiosity, did it not? Here it is. Okay, I think I'm ready to go to Earth and be born. What do I want to do? Oh, I'm very curious about Earth. There's so much to do there. Dun, 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 and it happens. A little bit of curiosity, boom, child is born, child is here, child is hatched, whatever. Depends if it's an octopus or not. The next step on the path leads to personal, meaningful discoveries. When we're bold, when we're not embarrassed, when we don't say about ourselves, I'm not good enough. Right? Oh, I didn't do as good as that person or this one. Well, good grief, you got to practice. I'm still learning how to do dishes properly. I discovered I'm not supposed to lick them before I wash them. But my encouragement to everyone is to continue expanding your personal outer world as well as your inner world. And let us continue together creating a greater life like we've been encouraged all along for those of you that are longstanding attendees here at home. Let's celebrate together with beloved ones, wherever they may be. Sometimes it's somebody that will ask you directions and there's this kinship that, sure, yeah. And what a wonderful thing to hold the elevator open for somebody. You know, things like that. To, excuse me, ma'am, you forgot your receipt. It was left it in the ATM. Thank God it wasn't the card. But I would have gotten it back anyway, because that's the quality of people that there are in this world more than anything. So finally, just know that you're in good company. When you come here, when you go out there, they're more good, and because we're attracting it. We are magnificent magnets of good. I am a magnificent magnet for good. In my case, I'm still working on it. We all are. We love it. But when you meet another magnet in the correct way, is it, sorry. Oh, I'm known as the bug lady here, excuse me. It's a mistake. But direct pathway to heaven, okay? Now, follow your instinctual curiosity, okay? Make yourself a promise, not to me. I don't care what you do. I do, but I don't. I care what the octopus does. My heroes. Follow your instinctual curiosity, because that will help you listen to your heart whispering. Go forth and keep discovering the wondrous beauty and amazing miracles of life all around you and within you. You're all beloved beings. You know what? Try being like an octopus. Check them out. They're beautiful in their own way. They probably look at us and say, "Aw, they lost 6 of their arms." what can I say? They are compassionate beings. They really are. And they're friendly. So, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And so it is. Thank you.